As U.S.-China tensions rise over microchips, the risk to global trade, supply chains, and everyday tech grows. Here's why it affects all of us. Introduction: the chip that changed the world. Think about the smartphone in your hand, the car you drive, or the hospital monitor that tracks vital signs. Each of these runs on one invisible but indispensable engine, the semiconductor chip. And right now, this tiny piece of technology is at the center of a massive geopolitical battle that could reshape the global economy and our daily lives. Tensions between the United States and China over chip technology are escalating fast. With sanctions, bans, and retaliatory threats flying back and forth, the fragile truce between the world's two largest economies is under strain. What began as a trade dispute is quickly morphing into a full-blown tech Cold War. The battle for semiconductor supremacy at the heart of this standoff is America's effort to curb China's rise in advanced chip technology. The U.S. has placed tough export restrictions on semiconductors, targeting companies like Huawei and blocking access to the machines and materials needed to produce next-generation chips. In response, China is pushing back hard. Its government has accused the U.S. of economic coercion, and has begun retaliating by restricting exports of critical minerals like gallium and germanium, key ingredients in chip manufacturing. Beijing is also warning foreign companies that complying with U.S. export controls could lead to legal trouble under China's anti-foreign sanctions law. The battlefield is not just about silicon, it's about dominance in artificial intelligence, data control, defense systems, and global influence. For both Washington and Beijing, this is about power. The collateral damage: global trade and everyday consumers. The chip war is not confined to government boardrooms. Its impact is already rippling across the global economy. When China and the US escalate, it throws the entire semiconductor supply chain into chaos. That means higher costs, longer delivery times, and greater unpredictability for manufacturers. Automakers can't build cars without chips. Phone makers can't launch new models. Medical device manufacturers face critical delays. For the average consumer, this could mean more than inconvenience. It could mean paying double for the same device, waiting months for repairs, or watching local businesses shut down because they can't access parts. Small tech startups, in particular, stand to lose the most as they get squeezed out of global supply chains. This isn't a hypothetical risk. We saw what happened during the 2021 global chip shortage. Vehicle production halted, electronics prices soared, and supply chains buckled under the pressure. Now imagine that happening on purpose and on a much larger scale. The Geneva trade truce at risk earlier this month, there was a glimmer of hope. The US and China agreed to temporarily reduce tariffs, signaling a desire to restart dialogue and stabilize relations. But almost immediately, the renewed fight over Huawei's AI chips reignited tensions. China claims the US has already broken the spirit of the truce by blacklisting its firms again. The US argues it's simply protecting national security. This back and forth erodes trust and threatens to unravel the fragile trade understanding built in Geneva. If this dialogue fails, the consequences could be dramatic. We may see a return to massive tariffs, greater isolation in technology sectors, and a breakdown in international economic cooperation. More than economics, a fight for narrative control. There's a deeper battle at play here: the right to shape the future. Semiconductors are more than industrial components. They're the building blocks of tomorrow's technology: quantum computing, autonomous vehicles, 6G networks, and military innovation. For the US, controlling chip technology means maintaining its global lead. For China, mastering chips is a matter of national pride, independence, and resilience in the face of Western pressure. But in this quest for supremacy, the global community is caught in the middle, particularly developing nations that rely on affordable technology and stable trade systems. If the two superpowers fracture the tech landscape, It could leave much of the world sidelined and disconnected. Conclusion: what happens when cooperation fails? We are living in a moment where a microscopic chip could determine the fate of global diplomacy. If cooler heads don't prevail, we may soon find ourselves in a fractured digital world, one where access to technology, information, and even economic growth is divided by political lines. This isn't just about the US or China. It's about all of us workers, entrepreneurs, students, consumers who rely on global cooperation to keep innovation flowing and economies growing. As the semiconductor standoff intensifies, we must ask, are we entering an age where technology unites the world, or one where it tears us further apart?